In this video, we are going to see how Autodesk Revit can be used to automatically generate layouts for HVAC and plumbing systems. First, we'll take a look at an HVAC system. Here I have created a supply system and a return system, and I would like to have Revit automatically create some ducts for me rather than having to manually draw them in. I have a 3D view here as well, so I'm going to type WT to tile both of those on screen so that I can see this in 3D and 2D at the same time. Next, I'm going to select the system. I can do it in either view. I'll select it in my 2D view here. Then, with the system selected, I can come up top to my ribbon and select Generate Layout. I've got 6 different possible layouts, but before I really explore those, I want to take a look at the settings for these layouts. This is where I can determine what types of ductwork I want to have. So for the main ducts, I want rectangular ducts with radius, elbows, and taps. So I'll click the drop down and make sure that's what I have selected here. Then I need to put the height offset from the current level. In this case, it's going to be 10 feet. Then for the branch ducts, so here in my auto layout, the blue lines are the mains and the green lines are the branches. I can go ahead and select what types of ducts I want for those. In this case, it's going to be round ducts, taps, short radius. They're also going to be 10 feet. And I want to use some flex ducts on these, so I'll choose the flex duct round. Then I will put a maximum length for the flex ducts, in this case 6 feet. I'll go ahead and click OK. Then I'll take a look at the views here. So I can see the main branch running down the middle and then some branches coming off of it. I can go through my different solutions to see the other results. Some of them, this one looks weird. It looks like it comes out and comes back. Probably going to get some sort of error on that one. Well, that one looks somewhat similar to the earlier one. So again, I can scroll through each of these until I find one that I'm most happy with. In this case, I'm going to go with the first one here. Then I'll go ahead and click Finish Layout. Now I do get a warning that I've got some open connections. That's easily solved. I will just simply select the main duct here and select Cap Open Ends. And now I know I've got those capped, and I should be fine. Next, I want to create a system for the return as well. So I'll tab until the system is selected, and then Generate Layout again. Once more, before I really explore this, I want to change my settings. For my main ducts, I want to choose the rectangular duct with radius, elbows, and taps. Looks like I'm good there, with an offset of 11'6". So remember, my supply ducts are at 10 feet. These are going to go over those. Then on my branches, I'm going to do the rectangular ducts with radius, elbows, and taps with a height of 11'6" again. For the return, I will not be using any flex ducts, so that will be set to none, and then of course the value won't matter then. I'll go ahead and click OK. And then we'll cycle through some solutions. So once again, the blue lines are the mains, the green are the branches, yellow indicates there's some sort of problem there. So I'm going to go through each of these. I don't really trust this one. It's probably going to interfere with the air handler. As we can see, number 3 here has a couple of issues, a short segment here, a short segment there. None of these, honestly, are very perfect, so I'm just going to start with the best one I can find and then make some changes here. So I'm going to go with number 3 here, and I'm going to try to fix a little bit of this. This yellow issue is because there's not enough space here to put in the fittings necessary, so I think I can fix that pretty easily. So here in the ribbon, I'm going to select Edit Layout. Then I can select the blue line here and use the move symbol to move it back to the left. Now, as you can see, that cleaned up that problem. I still have a problem here. This is probably about as good as I'm going to get right now, so I'm going to go ahead and finish my layout. And as you can see, it's a bit of a mess here. So I'm going to have to do some manual cleanup. So sometimes you can get the auto generate to be pretty well perfect like it was on the supply. Other times you might have to do a little bit of work, but that still might be preferable to drawing everything in manually. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. I'm going to delete each of these pieces coming straight out of the air handler. I'm going to go ahead and delete the fittings here, and then I'll use my corner trim to put these back into a corner. Then I'll go ahead and manually draw the duct from the air handler here. So I'll select my air handler, draw the duct here, make sure that it's rectangular with radius, elbows, and taps. I want it to be 12 inches by 12 inches. So I'll make that adjustment here in the options bar. The offset's 10 foot. That's driven by where the air handler is. I'm going to come out to the side, maybe 3 foot 6 inches to start my duct. Then I'm going to offset it to that 11 foot 6 level and then draw to connect to the other ducts. Now I'll escape out of that. So now we can see that I was able to use a combination of auto generation and then duct creation tools to get the system that I'm looking for. Next, we'll take a look at a couple of plumbing examples. Here I have a layout of some sprinklers. I've got it both in 3D and 2D, so I'm going to type WT to tile those together. That way I can see the 3D view and the 2D view at the same time here. And I want to create a system to connect all of these sprinklers. I'm going to go ahead and select the system here, then select Generate Layout. Sometimes on sprinkler systems there will be a slope value to help the water drain a certain direction. In our case, we're going to set that slope to 0/12, so it will not have a slope. Then I'm going to select Settings and take a look at what types of pipes we're using. So on the mains, we want copper pipes, and we want them to be 9 foot 6. And then on the branches, I also want copper, and then I also want 9 foot 6. Now in the book's exercise, they're going to have you start with a 9 foot for these branches. That is going to cause a lot of problems. We only have 2 possible solutions, and there's a lot of problems with both of them. And the book is just going to have you go back into settings and make sure you set that branch to 9 foot 6 as well. Now it should work a lot more smoothly. We can see the mains and then the green branches coming off of them. So a couple of choices there. I'm going to go ahead and go with the first choice here. And now we can see the piping layout for this sprinkler system. Finally, we're also going to take a look at a sanitary system. I'm going to open up the 3D plumbing view as well as the south wing sanitary section. I'll close all other views. And then I will WT to tile both of these together. So what I want to do for these is I want to create a drainage system for all of these sinks to drain down and to the left over here. So I already have a cold water system and a hot water system on each of these sinks from when I connected them together, but I do not yet have a sanitary system. So I'm going to begin by selecting all of these similar sinks. And a quick way I can do that is to select one, right click, and then select all instances visible in view. And that should pick up all of those same sinks for me. Then I am going to create a system. So I'll come up and select piping system. Sanitary is the only thing left for those. So I'll go ahead and create that system and then click OK. Then with the new system selected, I'm going to generate a layout. I'm going to take a look at my settings. And for this, on my mains, I want these to be PVC pipes. And I want them to go down below to drain down, so my offset is going to be -4 feet. Then for my branch, I'm going to use the same values. PVC pipe, -4 feet. Since I am using drainage, I want to add a slope to these pipes. So for my slope value here in the ribbon, I'll set this to 1/8 of an inch over 12 inches. Then I need to place a base to indicate where these are going to drain to. So I'll choose the place base command. Then I'll click down and to the left to give me a spot to drain to. Now I did just get a little error message there. It went away quickly, but basically it has a problem with this base, and I'm going to edit the base. I'll select Modify Base. And two things I'm going to change: the diameter of the pipe to 1 inch. But where the error was coming from was the offset. I'm going to put this to -8 feet so that it is lower than the rest of the pipes. Now I want to take a look at the different solutions. Normally we can see that here. I'm not seeing it, so I have to select the Solutions button here. Then I can see the 6 possible solutions. I can cycle through these, weigh the benefits of each, and then finally select one that I like and finish the layout. As you can see in the section view, we have the slope applied to all of those pipes for proper drainage. That concludes this look at creating automatic layouts for MEP systems in Autodesk Revit.